Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Eye. We've got a great episode in store for you this Monday, first starting off with Alex going more in depth with the leaders and members of FFA. Julia is finding out how inflation rates are affecting spending from students and staff here at Ford. Lastly, this week we're taking a trip to Miss Cody's pig farm. But first, let's start off this week by giving it to Alex to learn more about FFA.
Future Farmers of America and 4-H have combined into one big club this year. Led by Ms. Painter and Mr. Lale, the club is growing, with more and more students taking agricultural-based classes. Taking these classes will not only allow you to join FFA, but to know what the club really is.
FFA is just a student organization or a club for any of the students in any of the ag classes eligible to sign up or participate in our events.
FFA is a CTE intercurricular organization, and so before I became an ag teacher, I really wasn't eligible to be a FFA advisor. So I started 4-H with FFA in mind. So when things changed for me and classes changed, I decided that why not merge the two organizations with me and Mr. Lil and have a stronger organization than trying to run two different things that were trying to accomplish the same thing.
Knowing what FFA is now, why would you join? And what would you be learning if you were in this club?
Yeah, so FFA focuses not so much on ag, but building yourself as a person, leadership, getting involved, really digging deep into the involvement you get into with growing yourself as a person, getting you college ready, getting you career ready. So a lot of people think it's just the ag aspect of it with our classes, but it's really so much more than that.
It just opens up your horizon for stuff, and it looks good on college applications, and you know, post high school, it can help you with your career and college and further education and stuff.
FFA is almost like a tree with a bunch of different little branches under this one big FFA umbrella.
We'll handle anything from livestock with Ms. Painter and dairy evaluation, poultry judging. We do ag mechanics competitions where the students will weld and do wire lights and switches. We do a tool ID competition, and we can do intro to hort and landscaping with the horticulture classes.
What was it you did?
This year I've been to one competition. We went to a agriculture mechanics competition, and there we did welding, and then we did electrical. So we did a three-way switch, and then we did a flink weld onto each other, and then we did a few quizzes on the subject.
So right now we're talking about stuff to do in the spring and what fundraisers we can do with our alumni association. We also plan on if we're going to participate in different livestock judgings like poultry judging, which we have coming up, and dairy judging, which will be during spring break.
One seemingly popular aspect of the club is cattle team, with a large number of members partaking in this branch of FFA.
Cattle team is something of my passion. Everybody who knows me knows I'm passionate about cattle. Typically, I say the girls because right now there's no boys on our team, but the girls get to practice. They feed. They have to catch everybody by halter. We pan feed everybody. They brush, they groom, they wash, and then we work on leading techniques and setting up cattle and getting them ready to where they can be evaluated by a judge in a show ring.
There's a metal strap that goes underneath their jaw, and you hook that onto them, and you walk them, and you got to keep your stick, and you have this show stick, and it's pointy, and you got to you hold it upright, and you walk your cow, and your cow's head has to be up, and your stick has to be a certain way.
I'm on our cattle team and livestock judging group. So our cattle team, we take cattle every weekend, and we take them to livestock shows around the county, and we just show them for money.
That's one of the main things you do, and how to set them up and how to get them to behave in the ring and working with your animal. My cow, her name's Paris, and I broke her from a very young age. When we got her at 6 months old, I broke her in 2 weeks, and I took her to show in 2 weeks.
The club has proven to be successful among other schools' FFA clubs.
In the past, last year, we had a team that placed in region with the state competition for tool ID. Then we've taken some students to the ag mechanics competition at state level before we won the region. Then I guess pre-COVID is our last time really, but we won the region at the hunter safety competition when we competed at the state event.
FFA is open to anyone as long as you're taking an agriculture, horticulture, or animal science class. So make sure you consider all of these things when signing up for classes next year, because you, as well as many other students, might find yourselves as FFA's newest members. Now back to you, Heather.
That's impressive. It looks like it takes a lot of hard work to be an FFA. With inflation only rising, I myself have been putting effort into cutting back on my spending for each week. Julia talked to some who might be trying to do the same thing here at Ford.
Although inflation is easing and interest rates aren't rising as drastically, food prices are still having a big impact on families in the community. Families are having to make hard choices and changes on how they spend their money. Math teacher Stephanie McDaniel talks about how she has had to adjust.
With the gas, we live out in the Vail area, so to travel anywhere we have to drive. So we started conserving some trips and not making wasteful trips.
As inflation rose in the wake of 2022, students who worked at Lowe's saw the impact.
Inflation has affected like how much people want to spend, how many people want to come into the store, and like how they see our products like as value-wise.
A lot of people have come in like complaining about different prices being way more expensive. We've had a lot of people come through and then decide ultimately not to buy something because it's more than they thought it was going to end up being.
Not only has it affected the community, but it's also affected classes here at Ford. Foods teacher Sarah Colley, who has to buy supplies for the class, anticipates the impact.
This semester, I anticipate that it's going to affect more. Mostly, I try to purchase things that are generic brand if they are comparable. Or if I have something at home that I can bring in, I'll try to do that. But it doesn't really affect whether or not we're going to cook, because I want them to be able to have the experience of trying new things.
People who aren't normally pinching pennies are looking to cutting coupons and using reward apps.
Every single day I'm in there's constantly people trying to get more deals and stuff with our app that we use. So they'll be trying to figure out ways to download it through their phone because most of them don't know about the app.
Yes, a lot of people have come through with Lowe's cards and coupons and different bits and pieces to try to save money. Lots of people buying drinks in bulk so they can get discounts off or like $1 off and stuff. The most times I see most people coming into deals are Wednesdays, because we typically have like half off sushi stuff. Lots of people come through those days for that.
I try to be very wise with that budget, not only with like supplies, like school supplies or supplies that we're going to use for cutting or etc., but also with the food budget. I try to be very, very wise with it, because why would I want to take money from my own, school or my own county office when that would just hurt me in the end and the students.
The Federal Reserve is starting to slow the increase of interest rates, but that doesn't mean that inflation is completely under control. We may still see high prices for a little while longer. Looking for coupons may still be wise for your wallet. Heather?
Thanks, Julia. When passing room 312 every day and looking in on Miss Cody, something many don't know about her is the pig farm her and her husband own. Running the farm for around 2 years now, they started off with buying their first pigs locally, but not getting just any breed of pig.
So how we were introduced to the mulefoot was a guy right here in Lincoln County that had a mulefoot boar, and we purchased our first piglets from him and noticed that their hooves were solid. And we talked to him and said, "What's wrong with these pigs' feet?" He said, "There's nothing wrong with them. The boar is a mulefoot." And I said, "What's a mulefoot?" He said, "Well, come here, I'll show you." So he took us over to his barn where he kept his boar, and it looked just like these guys are out here, solid black with solid hoofs. And that sparked the interest in the mulefoot breed, so we did some investigation and found out that the mulefoot was on the critically endangered list, so we thought we would do our part to help preserve that breed, and we have a lot of fun just having something different, really.
The good deed of helping out an endangered breed wasn't the only reason to start their very own pig farm. Living on land that has a history of breeding and raising pigs throughout the Cody family brought another motive.
His grandfather lived here and raised pigs, and he found a little drinker on the pole barn up there and showed it to the boys and was like, "Hey, you want to raise some pigs since there are no pigs on Hog Hill anymore?" And so that's what we decided to do.
There are certain specific challenges that come with breeding the mulefoot.
keeping new breeding stock. That's the hard thing with the mulefoot. The mulefoot is on the critically endangered list with the Livestock Conservancy, and there are very few of them around. So the actual hogs that you see here today, we have got, well, we've been all over 4 or 5 different states buying breeding stock to breed this herd that you have out here.
To get the meat from the pigs on Hog Hill back to the table takes planning, picking a certain slaughterhouse, and making sure to plan ahead with the correct sized pigs.
For the slaughterhouse that we use in Maiden, we have to get on the books sometimes a year in advance. So we usually choose several dates throughout the year where we're going to slaughter pigs, where we know that we'll have pigs that are between 250 and 350 pounds that we can take to the slaughterhouse.
Having a special place for them on the farm, the piglets, after being born, will stay with their mother for the first few weeks of their life before being weaned off the mother.
And then at about 8 weeks, we wean them off and move them away from their mother because honestly, at that point, the sow's kind of tired of nursing, and especially if they have 6, 8, 10 babies, that takes a lot out of a sow. And so we try and separate them when it's time, when they're able to eat grain food, and so we separate them and put them in another spot.
Mark tells us a few things about the endangered mulefoot that make them good pigs to raise.
You know, if you want to grow it on a homestead, that's a great breed. They're friendly, they're easy to deal with, got great meat. They don't get as large as a modern day production hog, but they do have a lot of good qualities that make them a great pasture raised homestead kind of hog or livestock.
Big thanks to Miss Cody for letting me on the farm. It was so much fun getting to learn more about the mulefoot breed. Next, the administration has selected this month's Tiger Tales. This month, Coach Greer and Miss Shook and Miss Lisa and Miss Kendra from Pre-K were selected. Here's the administration explaining all the ways they make Ford great.
Coach Greer came to mind when we were sitting around kind of reflecting on who we were going to select this time around, because he's a guy that will do anything for you. If you ask him to do something, he's going to jump in, he's going to do it. You know, class meeting, you know, I go down there, the bleachers are going to be out and the screen's put up and it's ready for me to go in. He'll just jump in and do anything. And instructionally, down to PE, the PE departments, they've bought into what we're trying to do here instructionally. They're putting their learning goals up. And even cloud repairs, and he's even writing the summarize down there in PE, which is awesome. So they're kind of just a team player. He sees the vision of the school, and he's just an all-around a guy that's going to get it done. So that's why we chose Coach Greer this time around.
Ms. Shook has been very instrumental with our Jump Start program. She helped organize and create the activities. And one of the things that stands out is the leadership that she helped enable these young students to help with the freshmen as they transition to the high school before the summer, and they continue to work with our freshmen. She continues to organize and have meetings with our Jump Start program, the mentors, and with the freshmen. Ms. Shook should be recognized for all the work she does with our student council. She helps meet with students, again, works with them to build leadership skills, and creates a lot of activities that show school spirit, and really works with students to build leadership skills that they can take throughout the rest of their life.
They are awesome. The job they do in the pre-K classroom is amazing. The patience they have every day, the love they have for those kids, and then the teamwork they have together is amazing. They're a great team and a great combination and an asset for that pre-K room every day. You couldn't ask for two better people to have in that classroom. They do a great job.
On February 16th, Ford is doing something new this year and is having a Valentine's Day dance. It's sure to be a lot of fun, so get your tickets now. As for prom tickets, they go on sale the 27th until the 3rd of March before ticket prices increase. The theme for this year's prom is red carpet, so make sure you get your tickets before prices increase. I also want to give a huge congrats to the swim team for making states. Registration is happening now. If you're interested in learning more about what we do here on the broadcast or all of the work that goes into creating the yearbook, there will be a student-led interest meeting in 508 on Tuesday and Wednesday. So look out for that in Flex Time and find out how you can join our team. There's something for everyone. Well, that's all for this week, and we'll see you the next.